Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a fresh new episode of Missin Curfew. I'm Shane O'Brien, and as always, coming from Action Park Media Studios here in Beverly Hills with my right-hand man, Scotty Upshaw.
Shane, how are you, fella?
I'm hurting a little bit today. We'll get into
me
that.
too.
The captain, Kevin Connolly, in the booth with the mustache. Looks good, Cons.
Hey, Broadway. So these guys are, what do you guys, how is it you guys say it? Hung titty?
Hung titty or hung cheese. We're both of them.
No red wine, just coffee and raspy voices. You guys sound like me. What's up?
we took the option on the wine today for hot tea and coffee.
Yeah. Broadway Jimmy Scoops, how you doing, baby?
Boys, I'm doing great. Got some good weather in Boston, but kind of jealous I wasn't out in California with you guys last week here.
Yeah, you see what you missed? Look at how great these guys look.
I think we look still pretty good. I don't know. Fuck.
You always look good, Updogg. So do you,
Jimmy. You know how you said I was one of the best hungover players, to play the game? Well, I could not have played a fucking hockey match nor put on my skates Sunday morning. I was so fucking hurting.
You went 3 for 3. We drank 15 bottles of wine at Russ Courtnall's Thursday night after Sherwood.
Oh, my
and
God.
Updogg.
15. We'll put the picture out on Instagram. It was 2 Magnums to start off, too, and they literally went down like they were fucking Coors Lights.
Updogg wakes up at 9 to go play Bel Air, knocks on my door to get the keys. He's like, I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm out here, Robes. I'm like, okay, buddy. I don't know. You had a lot of energy that morning.
Well, I slept on Rusty's couch, and he lives right on like hole 14 at Sherwood. And I wake up to fucking lawnmowers right in the back of my mind. Like, just, I don't know if you ever slept on a golf course, like so close to the fucking tee box.
I used to have a house back on number
They
1.
were just, and I was fucking, so I jumped out in his pool. It was ice cold. It was the only way I could get up.
That's a good feeling,
It,
though.
it was
the pool
perfect.
was
That's
ice
unreal
cold.
feeling.
I jumped
right
out in the cold and poured myself a coffee and Bailey's. I fucking went in and got the keys, and I drove right to Bel Air for a nice Friday afternoon match. A couple transfusions off the first tee box, and how are you?
Yeah.
Is that Courtnall's basement bar that he had going down there?
So he has a sick 1-story house, redid it, pool, hot tub. And let me say, he's got a great wine fridge because I was like, Rusty, I'm going to bring up a bottle of Duckhorn and some cigars. He's like, don't worry about it. I got both of those things. I bet you I smoked fucking 9 cigars.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, if you like Cubans.
Yeah. If you like the Cubans,
How
I'll get into
How'd
that.
the lungs feel the next day there, Obes?
Buddy, I had to drive all the way back to Newport to play at the Friday game with the boys. So I actually had the 70s road trip playlist going. I felt pretty good, though. I had a Bailey's and coffee. Rusty, the veteran, gave me one in the morning. So I got off to a great start, too, Friday. I had birdied 2 of the first 5 holes, and then the back 9, I might have had a little bit too much to drink. You know when you have the buzz going, you go over the line, you're like, uh-oh.
Got a lazy swing. Swing gets a little slower.
It got a little loose on me on the back, but it was a fun weekend, but we're paying the price today for it. But
Yeah, that's okay. But speaking of golf.
yeah, Masters week, boys. I watched so much live at the Masters. Brandel Chambly, guys, is like human dictionary. Eh? The guy has so many fucking... I'm like, I got to press pause to see what he's saying. But what'd you think of Masters week, Updogg?
I loved it. Nothing better than watching the boys parade around Augusta. Looking at that course brings back some good memories. But a little different with no fans, as we all, I think, every fan of golf. The best thing about the Masters is the roars and the Sunday chills that you get. But it was something just to watch DJ go out there and pretty much play pitch and putt.
Yeah.
I don't think he hit a bad shot all weekend. To see the tears come down his face when he gave his acceptance speech for a guy that was so close years ago, number 1 in the world, to go in and get hurt.
It was good to see him, like you said, for a guy who doesn't get very emotional. He grew up an hour from there, so that was the one tournament, and his brother on the bag, who I met at Gaza Ranch, who's a pretty good dude too. So you could see that it was emotional. It was pretty fun. But Broadway, what'd you take away from it?
I was fired up to see Tiger throw his lowest round on Thursday. I thought he was going to be dialed in for the whole weekend. But like you said, that Dustin Johnson, he was full ready to throw darts the entire time he was out there. He looked unbelievable. But I did not win my Masters pool, I'll tell you that. I was sitting pretty after day 1. I like 7th place out of 80 teams. I think I ended up at 77, so that wasn't a good finish for me.
Guess who did win their Masters pool, Jimbo?
I mean, guess you, Updogg.
He takes fucking two.
fucking
He takes
right.
2 Masters rookies, Smith and that fucking Soon Young Him or whatever his
I
name
took
is.
him.
They were nasty.
The fucking
I know.
him daddy pulled through for me.
Typically, Masters rookies don't perform, but when
You
the
need a
Updogg
couple
takes
underdogs. You got to have a couple glue guys fucking step it up in the
How
playoffs.
about Bryson starting off there for you guys?
Buddy, I watched it Thursday morning. I flipped it on, and DeChambeau he hooked one on 11, somehow found his ball. Then he hooked one on 13 in a bush. I took it on player. I'm like, this guy's going to be out of the tournament right here.
And then he says it's a par 67. That bit him in the ass big time. How do you talk about Augusta like that?
I know. That was the golf god
insane.
slapping him around saying, hey, like.
Slapping him right in the face.
Cons, what do you think you'd shoot at Augusta National?
I don't know. I got to imagine my handicap jumps up there a great deal. 35, 40, I'm shooting.
You're getting some pops there.
What's the best course you've ever played, Cons?
I did play Sherwood.
It's beautiful.
But I didn't appreciate it.
Speaking of ripping golf balls, the Updogg on Saturday night or Friday night was ripping golf balls off the fucking Lupul's house at the beach.
Where, in the
That's
ocean?
your go-to move up
He's
there.
trying to hit him in the
yeah.
ocean, yeah. You
Yeah,
went-
actually,
Entourage. It's an episode of Entourage.
yeah.
I had so I came right from Bel Air and I met these guys at a bar, well, actually a restaurant in Newport
Rothschild's,
Beach.
yeah.
Well, we went to a restaurant. We came in. I was feeling pretty good. Get the wine flowing, gin and tonics. And then we go over to our boys' place, Rothschild's, and they turn the clocks back in there. It's very laid back, social distancing.
There's not a whole lot of social distancing going on,
Good,
but-
good music, a lot of good drinks.
Nice try, though, Uppy.
So,
Yeah,
so
I'm like,
I said it was an optional social distance.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And so I came out and I got my clubs. I put the clubs in the kitchen when I got there. So this place is PCH in MacArthur. In Newport Beach, that's like right down Broadway. I come out of the bar, fucking Ubers are kind of around, everyone's standing there. I grab my 8-iron. I lay a ball on top of this planter it has like
yeah,
a cement
fuck, you
planter, and I just absolutely rope a fucking shot across the street, like over Gulfstream restaurant, just into the fucking street. I mean, there was no cars driving, but I was feeling it, Jimmy, and I just was like, fucking.
That's
here
a
we
lot
go.
of confidence in your game, bud. I like that.
Well, he hits a
Confident
nice high
move.
golf ball, so he can do it. Like, even no matter how drunk I am, I couldn't attempt that because, as you know, I hit it pretty low. But Uppy hits this nice, majestic high cut. So, but still, I was like, Uppy, are you hitting that golf ball?
It used to be a thing I did, Jimmy. You recall in fucking Fort Lauderdale. I used to just open up my windows right in my living room. I had a 22nd floor, looked over the river valley or whatever, and I used to just fucking full swing off my carpet in my living room, through the window, out into the water.
Everything you had to hit it through was glass. That was the craziest part. You had glass
Never
windows
broke
and a
anything.
glass banister, and you didn't break one thing. You hit him into my pool.
It was risky. It was a risky shot. I remember that. But
So good times.
so always fun Masters week. And listen, we only got to wait 5 more months because it's going to be in April, hopefully with fans. But yeah, I took it in Sunday morning, watched DJ. It was pretty impressive work. So
Uppy, you think you can get your connection to get the boys down at the Masters in April?
Yeah, get some laminates from Action Park Media. Go in there.
By the
fucking
way,
hot.
you may still not see fan, but I'm not trying to be
I know,
Yeah,
but we're
you might-
media. Although we're fans, we're media now
Media.
too. Look at it.
By the way,
the
I'll
media
get you a media
credentials.
if you're going to bring me back some content. I'll get you a media.
100%, boys. I'll bring my 8-iron. I'll be hitting fucking balls.
I don't,
over
want,
the
I don't
boys.
want you coming back with a bunch of stories, but we want content.
yeah.
Video content.
Well, if we act like we did this week, we'd be kicked off the property in about 15 minutes. If Uppy just started ripping 8-irons around Augusta, it'd be frowned upon. But the retro jerseys, boys, they came out with some solid ones, not some solid ones.
Ooh,
What's
there's some fucking
One
real-
really bad one.
There's some bad ones.
what's the really bad one?
Yeah,
Hazy?
what
Which
do you
one
think,
hate?
Jimbo?
Well, the bad one was the one with no effort from Cons' New York
Oh, I knew
Islanders.
that
It
was
looked like their
coming.
same jersey. What
Okay.
were they doing?
All right. So yesterday we had a hell of a day here. So I was sort of off. I kind of was missing everything. I got home and I'm like looking at my social media. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I got nervous for a second. I thought somebody got trapped. I didn't know what was going on.
Barzell got off
Yeah,
for cheating or something.
Exactly. Everybody like going on and on. I'm getting calls from like media people about the Islander retro. I was like, okay, so let me break it down for you. And here it is. The kids love the Fisherman logo jersey, which would have been the retro to go to. But for a lot of people, I mean, look, I'm sort of indifferent about it. But to a lot of people, it just represents like the Black Plague. I mean, I don't know. Like people just there's like a visceral reaction
Spanish flu.
for a
Yeah.
bunch of fans. So that jersey is circa 2002 Pekka,
Di
Yashin,
Pietro, Dag.
Di Pietro, and those
It
guys.
actually is. So when Con said that, I said that to him this morning, Broadway, and he's like, it's the Peck era, and it is a little bit different, but
But also, come on. I mean, like, Broadway, it's not like the Edmonton Oilers lit up the fucking scoreboard with a great retro jersey. They
that's
wore those
true.
But at
last
least they
year.
have McDavid.
that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
How about the Ducks?
The Ducks one's horrendous, too.
God,
the Ducks
the
one.
Mighty Ducks were
But are there
better
any
jersey back
actually
in the
like
day.
just like ones that are just ugly? I mean, I know the Islanders are taking heat for no effort, but are any? What's the ugly one?
The Ducks one's ugly. The Ducks one is
Ducks one's really
horrendous.
ugly.
Broadway, the one that I like, the LA Kings one. That was one.
That one was awesome.
100%.
Yeah, that's a good
The
one.
Rangers one, I can't believe I'm saying this is pretty cool. Is that just the Statue of Liberty face?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My best one, Nordiques.
Yeah.
It's juice. The fact that they use that symbol too is fucking badass.
Cool colors,
Yeah.
everything
Great
about the
colors.
Nordiques.
That is a sick one too. Hazy, what was your favorite one?
I actually love the Florida one. The Florida one was that old school one. That one was awesome. That's back when I think Tommy Fitzgerald was on the team then.
Boys, who was in charge of putting all these? Was it each team or was it like a collective, like a company that did it all?
That's a
Or
good
did
call.
each?
I didn't even know they were doing it. And then I woke up over the weekend and saw all these pictures of retro jerseys.
They were
so-
kind of giving little
Of course,
hints.
the
The whole
team has to weigh in. Hoppy, right?
yeah, but like it's like
because they would have picked the fishermen for the Islanders if they were doing the retro.
Uppy, what about your St. Louis Blues? What do you think about that one?
I chirped it on their Instagram. I couldn't believe they'd go red. I mean, why?
Fuck.
They had opportunity to fucking kick some ass with their jersey. They
They got
did
those sick baby blue ones.
They
though.
did a great. That was our year. We did the Winter Classic, Jimmy. Those were
Those were
badass.
sick.
People loved them.
Those are your best jerseys.
But yeah, fucking red. Like I never seen it. And then I like the ones that they wore last year. Spin that red and the blue around on
Yeah.
their jersey, and that's kind of their old school
Like the
one,
old
like
school,
the
like
McInnes,
when Chris
Gretzky.
Pronger played there.
When
Prongs.
Gretz came in, yeah.
I'm looking at it right here, boys. Minnesota Wild, not your best effort. I mean, they went with the old North Star colors, but it's just their same logo. So that was one. I like the Winnipeg Jets one too, with the gray and the dark blue on the shoulders. That's a good one. That'll be a good seller. And then my old Canucks. I thought the Canucks, they could have went with the black and gold, boys. Like, you know, they wore them this year with their anniversary jerseys, so maybe they couldn't do it. But do you like those old school black and gold ones with the skate Vancouver Canucks Broadway?
Those are unbelievable. It makes me think of Pavel Bure right away, just buzzing down the wing and tucking one full
They
speed.
wore those, I think, in the finals against New York
Rangers,
Rangers.
yeah.
Yeah. Those are badass.
When I played in Vancouver, we tried my 2 years there. I'm like, let us wear the black and golds one night on Hockey Night in Canada for whatever reason. I think we even got the Sedins to ask them, and they still shut us down. So
did Vancouver go with that old school?
Vancouver went with their blue and green with their orca symbol.
Oh, they should have
Yeah.
went with the Pavel Bure.
Yeah,
I think of like
black.
Matthias Olin when I see that.
Matthias
fucking jersey.
Olin. I played with
That's a
Olin.
tough-
He's a beast.
New Jersey has those sick green ones. Those are sweet.
Hartford, like
Scotty
kind of like,
Gomez style.
I'm gonna give some love to the Hartford Whaler one too, Hazy. Did you like that one? I think those unis.
I
are
loved
sick.
it.
Boys, let's talk about Gomer for one quick second here.
Okay.
His fucking stuff he's
Scott
doing
Gomez,
is
we're talking
hilarious
about,
right
right?
now.
Scott
yeah.
Gomez, yeah.
He's been doing this thing up in Alaska. Yeah, Uncle Scotty. I don't know. I fucking laugh at it all the time. I mean, he ain't getting any prettier, but he's fucking hilarious, and he's been able to like really bring people into what living in Alaska is like. Cooking, fishing, mint coins, fucking. He did a fucking Halloween thing that I got a kick out of. So I know he's back here in the U.S. I think we should get him in here. He's a funny fucker.
Yeah, he also owes me money or
Well, then, yeah,
a
let's really
Peter
get it.
Luger's steak dinner based on an Islander Ranger game a few years ago. I don't really even know
Really?
him. We might have been in Vegas and had a couple of beers and whatever it was. But yeah, so he lost the bet. He owes me Peter Luger's. So let's get him in here.
Let's
and talk
get him
about
in
it.
here. Collect
Did you ever
that.
play with Gomer, Jimmy?
Yeah, I got to play with
His
Uncle
last year,
Scotty.
right? In
Yeah,
New
his
Jersey.
last year.
Yeah.
He,
yeah.
he took me out. We were out in California at a bar, and he told me, when I'm with Uncle Scotty, everything's on him. Get the bill. It's cash only. He only has his credit card. He looks at me and goes, "Got any cash, kid?" I was like, an hour before, everything was on Uncle Scotty.
He signed a couple big tickets,
Oh, he
right?
signed a huge one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a sick pad in New York City.
He signed a huge ticket, like maybe 8 years in Montreal, and he went a full fucking calendar year without scoring a goal.
Yikes.
And it was fucking
I
bad
almost
news
did that
bears
too.
for him. Yeah. Yeah, but you weren't making $8 million.
When I was in Boston, my mom asked me if I gave up goal scoring for Lent one year. I'm trying to, but I think I did.
Hey, Gomer was one of the best I ever played against, though, at wheeling back and getting the puck just inside the D zone and coming through the neutral zone. Even when he wasn't scoring goals in Montreal, I'd play against him. Like, fuck, Gomer still had a
did
pretty
that.
good game. At least he looked good out there.
Yeah,
but
his
people
whole
in
life.
Montreal, I remember every time he touched the puck the one year I was playing somewhere, maybe Tampa, and he got booed every time he touched it. And I saw him after. I'm like, "How's things here?" He's like, "How do you think it's going?" I'm like, "Well, you're still making $9 million."
It's tough though. The Canadians they're like the Yankees that way. I have a theory about John Carlos Stanton having such a big year. All of his big years were in Miami for the Marlins when there was. I'm actually being serious. There was no fans.
Yeah.
I think, playing with with 50,000 people booing you, if you strike out 3 times, I don't know. I think that's why I think he excelled with no fans.
100%. I mean,
What type of year did he have this year?
he had a good year this year, didn't he?
Monster.
Yeah,
He had
monster year.
4 home runs. Yeah, he broke some postseason record. He was hitting bombs out there.
Because there was no fans to boo him.
No fans
Well, that's
again.
what I'm saying. I think
Totally.
he fed off of not, getting booed. It could be tough, and Montreal's like the Yankees that way, and also Toronto's that way, right?
Yeah, but Montreal, for Canadian markets, Toronto's, it's pretty bad, but Montreal,
they're hard
if
on
you're
you.
struggling in Montreal, and even Russ Courtnall, we had him last week. We were talking to him at his house, and he had some stories about Montreal where they're just booing them, and like they're kind of ruthless there. Same as the Yankees fans, Cons.
What about Vancouver? Did they fall into that category?
Vancouver, I was lucky. My 2 years, we were good. We were good. So I didn't get booed too much.
Win
but
or lose, we booze in Van.
we were just good.
Win
man.
or lose, we
we
lose.
we would win every home game. The Sedins would get 3 points, and I'd go out after and mix it
Get
up.
3
It was
kills.
fucking great. Yeah, it was great. So to answer your question, Vancouver, it's a little bit lighter than Montreal, but the retro jerseys, I can't wait to see them break them out. Movember here, boys. Connolly is definitely leading the charge for the Missing Curfew crew at the Movember cons. It looks good.
Thanks, guys.
Mustache ride con.
Looks really good, Con.
Little light on the donations. I don't know. I feel weird asking people for money during a pandemic, but I'm sure you
You're
guys
trying to do the
chip
right
in.
thing.
Don't-
Yeah, I
By
tried
the way,
to-
I'm not expecting anything crazy. Just
I
every
tried to do
dollar
it on
counts.
Saturday.
I got to
but-
get on the donation train, Cons. I got to swipe up on one of your reads here, but I'm guilty. I'm
Also,
guilty.
too,
I haven't
bro,
swiped up yet.
Link in bio, bro. Link in bio. It's in my Instagram bio. But also, too, a lot of these guys, I see a lot of, and look, it's for a good cause, so it's great, but I see some cheaters out there because you're supposed to shave your face on the first.
Right. And there was a few guys I played with that would have kind of the Broadway Jimmy Hayes beard going right now and come
And then just shave the
and just
beard.
shave it and then grow the stash.
Yeah.
So I was like, but for a guy, I never grew my Movember during my career
Yeah, I don't
just
think I've
because
ever seen you with a stash.
no, I would donate. Obviously, I would donate to the team charity that it was through, and then whatever guy on my team, for example, Shea Weber, but when you're in Nashville, had the best one. So I donated to Webb's whatever he
Bring
was
him
doing.
some wine.
And now they've added like the mental health aspect to it, and I think during the pandemic it's important. So it's an important charity. Austin Matthews, he's got a great mustache, but
He's
I feel
always
like
got
he's
it, though.
cheating.
Yeah.
Right? See, I don't want to call out
Call him
Big
out.
Dog. I don't
Call
want to
him
call
out.
out Big Dog, but I feel like he's
That
cheating.
picture
I
was
haven't
sick,
seen a
though.
swipe up from him yet either.
He's got like that little thin one though, but he rocks it.
Well,
so
that's what
well.
I did. I was pitching him new mustache styles. He's
Yeah,
got to do
'cause
something different.
Does
Yeah.
he even gets the
It's
curl
like
going
the little
on the
French
sides?
one. Yeah, the little French Paris
It's like
one
a
he's got
French
going.
tickler, eh?
Yeah,
Girls
yeah.
must love that.
It looks good.
I
on
could
him.
never do a mustache. I mean, I can actually. It's like.
Did
not-
you ever grow it throughout the Movember?
No, like I had a couple moments in the playoffs where I actually let what I could grow.
Oh, yeah,
and
you-
it's fucking disgusting.
You got
it's
a
like
great goatee.
gray hair, like one on my mole on my cheek, and then just like here and there and everywhere. It's not pretty. But you got to rock that in the playoffs. Mustache, yeah. My old man and my brother can rock a mustache. My brother's got a good stash.
Yeah, and great hair too. Brento's got great hair.
Yeah.
Who was your best when you played throughout your career? Who was,
I
who was the
mean-
guy that killed the Movember?
The king of the stash was big Georgie Peros.
Oh
Yeah.
He-
But he
yeah.
always rocked it.
He
When-
always,
we
but
rocked
I
it in
mean, but he.
December.
It's almost like he would talk to it during Movember and just start growing a little extra,
Yeah.
a little more darker. The guy's Burt Reynolds mustache. I mean, him and Burt were probably the two guys.
You know
leading the
those?
charge.
You know those? Just those little under jocks you used to wear under your gear, boys. So my rookie year, Georgie, we had a female massage therapist that would come in only on game days, and he'd walk in. He's just like a Greek god,
Yeah.
just with these little nut huggers things holding his dick in, and he would just stroll right through the medical room, no tarp on, and she would just be like so nervous. He was a beauty though, man. Yeah, but his duster was next level. Hazy, what about for you, buddy? Who was the guy throughout your career?
One that I could think of that always made me laugh was Andrew Shaw, because when he first started
yeah.
it, his mustache was so brutal and it was like the creepy looking one. Like, oh, it's just like nasty. But as it went on, he got pretty good. But Andrew Shaw was up there as one of my guys that had a good mustache going.
Does he have a contract this year?
He's back
Yeah, he's
with
got another
Chicago,
year.
right? He gets traded from Montreal to Chicago, back to Montreal, back to Chicago, right? Doesn't that?
Yeah, he was back in Chicago. He didn't play last year.
I know,
he
he's
had
been pretty banged
the
up.
concussion.
Fucking
Yeah, I
A.
think he had the concussion. He only played like 20 games, but he's making a comeback.
The other day, NHL Instagram had a video of him doing like this drill on the ice.
Yeah.
And it was a big promotional video for him, but I
Was he
didn't
dumping
think,
it in or what?
Kind of. He did like one little drill, or he stick handled it around the net. He passed it with this coach out there, and then he got one back and he rips one shelf. But like his foot speed wasn't up to par for what these young NHLers are doing. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe they're just throwing him a plug. This guy, good guy. I hear great things about him.
Oh, he's a great guy.
He was hurt last year. I didn't know if he had a deal, so I'm thinking, fuck, the NHL is just throwing this kid a bone right now because, I mean, anytime you get a promotional Instagram from the NHL, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I know. It'll keep you in the league.
They will. Were
So
they doing that for
Movember-
you? Were they doing that for you back in the day?
No, buddy, that wouldn't have kept me in the league. They're like, keep the camera off O'Brien. Fuck. Movember, Connolly, good on you. To our Missin Curfew fans, go to Cons' Instagram, swipe
We'll do him
up.
a
I'm
swipe
going to
up.
donate.
Link in bio.
Link in bio. Hazy, something we were just talking about on the way up, and the NBA has said they're going to start December 22nd. And listen, we know with Canada that it's a little bit harder, but we're just curious here, especially at Missin Curfew, because we can't wait to get back talking about hockey because we love it so much. When are they going to fucking start the season? Me and Updogg had an idea of maybe bringing the Canadian teams down here, and I said playing in cities that don't have NHL teams, and you said maybe put them in Phoenix or something like that. Is that something you think the NHL could do, or is the Canadian division the only way that things are going to work?
It depends on what's holding everything up. And, obviously there's a surge in coronavirus cases right now all across the U.S. and in Canada, from what my family's been saying. But depending on, what their hiccup is, I know the NBA, like you said, had announced that they're going to get things rocking. Yeah. They only have one Canadian team, so maybe that's their hiccup. I think it's just best to put, spread those 7 teams, around the U.S. for, say, 3 months. You let them play other teams, whether they bring in and do these little bubbles for a couple weeks at a time. You can still get different competition, and different guys over there. It's tough. It's going to be tough either way, but we're all excited to just hear when the day is.
Yeah.
So, hopefully Bettman, Cons' favorite commissioner in sports,
He's
will
the
be
best
able to
commissioner in sports.
We'll be able to come out and give us give us a hard date here. So, Jimbo, what do you think?
What do you think, Jimbo?
I think you two are onto something because I think there's enough NHL teams that have AHL teams close enough to the big cities.
Yeah.
So that means they got the AHL rink right there. They could play out of those rinks. But there was also a rumor they were going to send one other team up to Canada to make it an 8-team division. And I just want to know who's going to draw that short straw to get up there.
Minnesota.
But I think it should be able to get done. It's one of those things that they need to find out a way to get this season started. And a lot of guys are getting antsy around here. They want to get the season going. And January 1st is that day they keep hearing, but it's going to be flirting with that date.
Years ago, the Islanders almost moved to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And Kansas City built a beautiful, state-of-the-art,
I played in
17,000-seat arena that's just sitting there empty.
There you go.
Maybe you send a team over there. I don't know. But why would it be a problem? I'm playing catch-up here. Why would it be a problem in Canada? Because of the coronavirus outbreak?
So in Canada, the Prime Minister, like the Blue Jays, for example, this year, they had to play in Buffalo because the Canadian government doesn't want people coming in and out of the States, which, whatever.
You got to do what you got to do to protect your own.
I get it. But so for us, for the NHL, obviously there's seven teams up there. And I get it. And just between what Hazy said, like I'm thinking as an ex-player, like these poor guys, especially the guys that hadn't played in the return to play, they're training, they're working out. Like give these guys a date, when they can start cranking it up and get it going. I just thought maybe if you move the 7 Canadian teams down here to start the season, like you said, for 3 months. And listen, if you play the same teams over and over, boys, that gets pretty fucking boring too, Updogg.
Also, too, you got to imagine they're doing right now as we sit here. Some of the smartest lawyers and people in the world are trying to figure this out.
Smarter guys than us, eh?
Yeah.
Smarter guys than us.
Smarter guys than us. I don't want to
Do
say
they
that.
have a podcast at Action Park Studios?
And
Not yet.
we're
They
looking.
don't.
I mean, it was so much fun breaking down the playoffs with you 3 beauties that I just want hockey. I know it won't be playoff hockey, but selfishly, I'd like the game to come back because there's fucking nothing to watch on TV. Like, I had to watch the New York Jets play the fucking Patriots last Monday night. It was like, I know it was a big win for you guys, but it's tough to watch.
Paint dry.
Yeah. But
Can we talk about Tua? You guys ready to talk about it yet?
I would love to talk, but he's legit, man.
He's
watched
legit.
When he played against the Cardinals 2 weeks ago, his accuracy, his decision-making, they got a good one there.
He's just not making bad plays. He's not turning the ball over. He's managing the game. He's letting the defense do their thing. This guy's around. He's the guy.
He's the guy. So it's just an idea, boys, and I wanted to shoot it around with you guys. And I don't know if the guys that play in Canada would want to do that, but if you brought them down here, we could at least start in January and get the season going and give us something to talk about here.
Maybe get on the road a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, let's play some hockey. So we're gonna finish off before we get our sick guest coming in. We got another great guest today.
Yeah, I'd say.
Guy from
This guy
fucking
fucks.
Broadway,
This-
Jimmy Scoops'
this
area, the
guest.
fucking
Chelmsford, Mass.
country. But first question is a listener question. It's from Mike Sims, and this is to the Updogg. When you played for the Yotes, how often did the boys take a trip out to Vegas? And I'm interested in the second part. Who has better ladies, Old Town Scottsdale or the Vegas Strip? And that's from Mike Sims.
Oh, Mikey wants to know the ins and outs.
He wants
of
to
the
know
fucking
the
desert,
ins and
does he?
outs of fucking Old Town.
I did have the nickname from Brian Berard, the Coyote, because I was all cock and ribs at one point. So
What do you mean at one
so
point?
I
You
was
still
the desert.
are.
I was a desert dog.
You-
Phoenix, geez,
Half chub.
fucking
Half chub,
Phoenix
Coyote,
boys.
Updogg.
Old Town Phoenix could be one of the best places to shack up and maybe do like a rookie dinner or to be pouncing around with your buddies, smoking hot babes.
Girls that work
good
in Old
weather.
Town, I'm like every
The
time I
bars
go in
are
there-
all on the same
All
street.
ASU girls.
I mean, if you haven't been there, go there. Anyone looking to do a bachelor party
Yeah.
or something like that, go there. Now, Vegas, we've all been to Vegas. I went to Vegas my first time at 17. I jumped in on a trip for my buddy's like 20th birthday, and I was working out with him. And I was like, yeah, I'll come. I think I got in 2 pool parties at the time, a couple nightclubs. It was
At
back
17,
when you
hey,
can. Yeah, I
nice.
was 17.
Fuck.
It was hey mom, dad, I'm gonna cruise to Vegas with the boys. Okay. But right now I used to go to Vegas more with the St. Louis Blues. It was our year-end trip. We did it 4 years. It was 14, 15 guys jumping on the bird. Alex Steen and Stasny, Shattenkirk, quality guys like that chipping in the most for the bird. We'd all jump on there at the end of the year, just guys, go for 2 nights, come back. Now, Vegas speaks for itself. Gambling, Top Golf,
Yeah.
the Rhino, whatever tickles your fancy. You can get there now. Jimmy, I don't know if you had the same experiences as me, but I love the desert.
I'm a big Old Town Scottsdale guy. I had a bachelor party there a summer ago, and that place is top notch. I tell everybody to go there for a guy's trip, golf trip, bachelor party, you name it. I'm going to Old Town Scottsdale.
I just remember going in to play the Coyotes, and obviously the Barns in Glendale. Fuck, I'm gonna go for dinner in Scottsdale. I'll go for dinner. It'll be quick. Like fucking next thing I know, I'm in an Uber or fucking cab coming back at 1 a.m. It's like 45-minute fucking drive. I'm like, Jesus, how did this happen again? But just because I couldn't say no to Old Town, right? Like you go in there, it's always fun. We go in for the Phoenix Open. It's unreal. So
I got one story. You remember when we hummed in to play the Coyotes. We're there for 3 days, and we were staying downtown Phoenix. Now, anyone who's ever been to Phoenix, Glendale, where we play, is an hour out of the way. Then the airport is right next to the University of Arizona, or Arizona State, and that's right like downtown Phoenix. Kind of not a lot happening there, but Old Town is like a half-hour drive. So I get in. I know we're there for 3 days. I use my Starwood points, and I get the suite at the fucking W for the 3 nights.
Starwood points.
I tell the guys, I'm like, guys, hey, I'm going in. I'm setting up shop. I got a room there for us for the week. So one night we can fucking, have a party and go out after the game. But I'm gonna stay there. I'll meet you guys like at morning skate. And I go there, and there's a full yoga retreat.
You did it in
There's
LA too.
Yeah,
full
you did
yoga
everywhere.
retreat going on the pool deck at the W. As soon as I go in, like the music's playing, I'm like, what the fuck's going on up there? And then a bunch of hot girls walking up the stairs at the W pool. And I'm like, drop the bags off, put my fucking yoga gear on. I go for this happy hour yoga session with all these chicks up on the rooftop. And I put that on my Instagram after, and the guys were like, "You really at a fucking yoga, like doing yoga
just
right now?"
taking care of the body up, say
Totally
stretching
stretching
it
it out.
out. He's
Stretch the body, stretch
some
the
would
career
say,
lobes.
Some would say he's the ultimate pro Broadway. He's going to a
That
yoga
is the
class.
ultimate pro move right there, Updogg. Nothing
So-
less from you. You're always a pro.
And then it was just nice to have that room for the boys after, right next door to Old Town.
You did lead the league and staying at other hotels in the team, which is fucking legendary. And our last listener question, it's from Megan Colleen. Right now, there's a thing going on called the Battle of the Blades, and she was just curious, would any of the Missin Curfew guys participate in that if asked? And I was actually asked 2 seasons ago to do it, and I didn't have the balls to think I could figure skate. Maybe if we did the Missin Curfew team to go up there, but figure skating, man, I don't fucking know if I could do it. Broadway?
I would definitely have to hit up a couple yoga classes and loosen up my hips and work on some of my dance moves because I'm stiff as a board on the dance floor and even stiffer on the ice. So I'd have to get a lot of
I
practice.
remember you having
before
pretty
I pull
good
the
dance
trigger.
moves. I thought you, especially when the hip hop came on, you could fucking.
When the hip hop comes on, I'm a sick dancer if I'm sitting in my booth at a club. I got the shoulder lean going. I can start feeling it in a club, but the skating issue, that's a big
Buddy,
issue.
boys.
with figure skates on too. Like Army fucking did it last year, blew out his fucking knee.
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
thing you know, he's
Landed on
hosting
his
it. I'm like,
face.
you're smart, but at least you don't have to do it now. You're hosting it, so maybe. But what do you think,
I
Updogg?
think
Figure skates?
it's kind of falls into like, you know, what I would enjoy to do.
Yeah.
A little showtime, maybe do a headstand out in the middle of the ice.
Yeah.
But
Competing.
competing, lifting girls over my head, spinning them around.
Yeah, no,
You
it's.
know?
But I mean, there are
But-
long days at the rink too. They go.
But boys, there were times where I would just fall during NHL games in the middle of the fucking game, like, and guys would be laughing. Coaches would look at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Or like, I scored a goal as a rookie in Nashville. I come in over the blue line, I rip a slap shot on LaBarbera, and I go into the corner to fist pump, and I face plant into the fucking glass. So like. Yes, okay, say it's on national television. This thing, everyone's watching you. And you got the
Everyone
toe picks
can.
on. Like I could toe pick without a fucking toe pick on those figure skating skates. So that would be trouble for me.
It's safe to say you would
That'd be
go.
trouble.
You would go down at least once, but you can maybe make a nice recovery or something. But
I'd have a good outfit on. I tell you that.
so the Battle of the Blades, if you want us at Missin Curfew, you might have to make it worth our while next year. But it's definitely to those guys. Versteeg's doing it up there right now, or he's done doing it. So
Voltek Wojski. Shout
yeah,
out to him.
it's fun up there. But I don't know, figure skating's for me. So boys, always a pleasure, and we have a great guest coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Missin Curfew.
back.
Updogg. We got another fucking legit guest, pure sniper.
Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, met this kid first time I ever met him was at Coachella. You could tell he had leadership qualities back then. Jack Eichel. Ikes, welcome to Missin Curfew, fella.
What's going on, boys? How are we?
We're doing well. Me
Well,
and the
we're a little
Updogg,
hungover, my
we're
friend.
Ikes. We took Masters weekend a little too far, buddy. We started on like the Masters. We started on Thursday and ended on Sunday night. And as you know, we're not in NHL prime shape like you anymore. So the boys are drinking coffee and drinking tea in here today.
Low energy today. Low energy.
No, any reason to enjoy the weekend? The Masters just lets you hang a couple extra days on it.
It gives you a reason to get up early, but
Or stay
up.
up late.
Or just play through, as they say, right?
Yeah, Ikes, it's a pleasure having you here, buddy. So you're talking before we got on air here. You're down in Florida right now working with Oatsy, getting ready?
Yeah, I just came down here about a week ago. Oatsy's, he's based in Jupiter, so a couple guys are down here. Guys filter in and out, so it's good to obviously enjoy the weather and nice golf courses. And it's a little bit cold up east, eh, Hazy?
Yeah, Jack, it's freezing up here right now. And glad you
Yeah.
brought up the golf. I was going to ask you if you're playing any sick tracks down there in that Jupiter area. There's a bunch of courses there.
I actually played Pine Tree in Boynton the other day. It's supposed to be real nice. It was actually great. I had a good group going. Jack O'Callahan, a couple other guys. So yeah, it was nice. It was a sick track. I mean, 140 bunkers.
it's a sick track. Marty Brodeur was a member there, and Theodore used to take us out. Jimmy, you ever play up there? So me, Jovo, and Theo would go all the time. How long are those the tee boxes? Some of the tee boxes are like 100 yards long.
Yeah, I think they got a par 5 on the back. I think it's 16. There's a 160-yard tee box.
It's crazy. It's beautiful though. Like you can fucking try dinking out of there.
One, so fairway
I could have a couple
fairway
dig
hit.
outs there in that place then.
Hey, so there's a bunch of sick clubs up in Miami, nightclubs. But I mean in Jupiter, Medalist is one, Bears Club.
Yeah.
Bears Club's more in West Palm. And then Michael Jordan built one. So Clark MacArthur is a member at this new Michael Jordan club.
So is Yandel.
I don't even, is Jan's a member too? That's where you
Yeah,
want to go
got it.
play. Get in one of those money games with MJ and just take all his fucking his
Or
hard-earned
lose all your
cash.
money.
Yeah, right. So why did he opened up his own course because he got in shit the Bears Club about gambling too much, right? Isn't that how the story went?
Probably.
Yeah, and then
Do
he's
you
like,
know, Jack?
yeah, Ikes, did you hear that?
I think he wanted a club where he could just do whatever he wanted. I think they go out with like 10 guys at a time. They do whatever they want.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even have to you can wear a bathing suit out there if you want. So I think he just built his own track because he wanted to do whatever he wanted.
When you get to that legendary status, you should be able to do whatever
When you're
the
a
fuck you want.
billionaire like that and you want to build a track, you build a track.
Yeah, just invite your buddies, all your gambling buddies.
That's
Fuck, that's the way to
amazing.
do it.
How's your golf game, Jack?
It's not bad. I grinded pretty hard this summer. It was like the first off season where I played like a lot. I probably got like 50, 60 rounds in almost.
It's like
Taking
you
them down.
counts.
think I'm down to like a 8.7 right now. So
A dangerous 8-7. I used to play with this kid up here at Walston, and he can play.
Yeah.
Don't let him fool you, boys. Do
So
not
that's
let him
like a
fool
10,
you.
right? He's a 10.
He's a 10.
There you go. Yeah, I'll take you.
You're
I'll
giving
take
him
you as
two
a 10 on
shots.
my side. I'm a 9. I'm a 9.
All right.
But so yeah, our boy Connolly's been grinding Ike's up here with his golf game. He's there before he comes into the studio. He's chipping balls.
I play every day, but I can't. I got to take lessons, bro. I flat.
yeah, maybe a lesson or two. I took 2 lessons this summer. Just get a couple things in your head before, a couple swing thoughts.
Get that
Can't
checklist
overthink.
going.
So did it help, Ike's? Because I've been thinking myself that maybe it's time for a lesson here. Do you think it helped? I'm
You
thinking
just
it might
need to
hurt.
stop playing right-handed and go to lefty. You're a fucking lefty. You're
So
at
the-
heart. It'll take you 6 months, and then I think you'll be fucking striping it.
So you just want me to go on the range and hit left-handed clubs for 6 months? I'll
I
lose my
think
fucking mind.
I know, but fucking then all of a sudden you'll be like the guy who shows up and goes, yeah, you know what? I played right-handed for fucking 20 years, and now I'm a scratch lefty.
Or you could say, "Yo, what do you want me to play from? Which side
Which
of the
side?
dish? do you want me to hit
That would
from
be a
today?"
legit thing. Which side of the
Right?
dish you want me from?
I
man?
love it.
All right, I'll play you lefty today.
Yeah,
I'll
that
play
would
you
be
lefty.
legit. But Updogg, you want to get into some music stuff with Ike's here?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up because I thought this was super fucking cool. I just recently in passing met you with our boy Big Guy. I think it was after Coachella.
Yeah.
Reinhardt, and PJ staying in Newport Beach. We had a few beers, had lunch one day. But I got a text from you this year saying, hey, do you mind filling out my bracket? And I'm like, all right, fine.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of bracket? So, for our listeners out there, you want to just explain kind of what you did. It was this year when COVID hit and there was no Final Four, and I thought you were super creative with what you had.
Yeah. So actually, I got the inspiration. Tyler Ennis sent me a similar bracket, but it was comedy movies. So he had me fill it out and whatever his favorite comedy movies, my favorite comedies, whatever, all the best. So. Everyone had so much time on their hands during COVID, so I figured I'd do them with music, and I just went through a bunch of different artists that I like. It's tough because obviously there's a lot of different, decades. And, I mean, there's just such a wide variety. So tried to narrow it down to 64, and I think the tough part was doing the rankings and the matchups. I know I think you and Luke's had a little pushback. I think I had like Chris Cornell versus Nirvana pretty early, which is that's a heavyweight bout.
That is a fucking heavyweight tilt there.
Who was your guy? Who won it for you? Because everyone has a different winner.
Right, of course.
Fucking A, and it was epic.
For me, I had the Beatles winning it. I mean, I just think that they're probably the greatest rock band. So I had the Beatles over the Stones, but I mean, that's just who I think the greatest is. I wouldn't say like I listen to the Beatles the most, or I just think that they're probably the most influential, musical group, if not them, the Rolling Stones. So I had the two of them up at the top, but I know you guys are huge Pearl Jam guys, so I'd put them up there. They're probably one of my favorites. I think I had them as a 2 seed. Big Eric Clapton guy, Jimi Hendrix. I'm really big into Marvin Gaye. He's one of my favorites for a while, so pretty big variety.
When the ladies come over, the Marvin Gaye goes on.
Listen, I'm not even just saying this because he's on. It would be hard to argue that the Beatles aren't the greatest band of all time.
100%.
I love
and
that.
most, like you said, most influential.
Influential,
Right.
yeah.
Fucking 60s, 70s, fucking.
Oh man,
People-
still, I mean, it's
well,
wild.
totally.
It's wild.
Me and our boy Mac L, who you know well, me and Mac Daddy had the Chili Peppers going against the Stones, two just heavyweight live bands. I saw the Stones last year for the first time. The Chili Peppers I've seen for a while, but Anthony Kiedis isn't like the best musician, but he somehow gets it done with that band, and they just fucking seem to rock every time I see him live.
No live shows this summer. It's been tough, huh?
It's
That's
been really
the worst
tough.
part. Yeah,
Oh.
one of the worst parts. Not the worst part,
That's the best part about living where we do here in Orange County is that you're a 40-minute drive up to the Forum or any venue here in Hollywood, and I mean there's 3 or 4 shows a week. You see them come on your emails. You fucking pick this one, and then Coachella. Like I know you've been to Coachella.
Was that Ike?
How
So
was
that
that?
Coachella was that your first ever musical festival you went to? That time I met you.
No, I went to the one in Chicago a few years before. It's Lollapalooza. right?
Lolla.
Yeah.
I
That's a
went
good
there
one.
a couple years before, and then obviously Coachella is like right at the end of the season. And yeah, Rhino and I had kind of had an idea that we wanted to go. Oh, there was an unbelievable lineup of musicians that year too.
What
Yeah.
year was that? What was the lineup? Who was the headliner?
I don't know. I remember like Eminem played one night. Like we had Kygo the weekend, Post Malone.
Yeah. Sick.
Fuck.
Odessa's
my favorite. What a feel-good show. Every chick loves it. The lights. It hits you, whatever. It's dance party central. Let's go.
When they had those guys on the drums and behind the set of Odessa, when they were
the
fires.
coming up.
Yeah. So what did you think of the Coachella experience though, Ikes, when you showed up, all the after parties, that stuff? I just remember meeting you as a young kid and you were like so fired up. Did you think it was what it was all cracked out to be? To me, it was like, it's too big and too like, it's not pure Coachella anymore.
Yeah, it's, I was going to say, it's definitely a lot. Like just everything, the whole experience is a lot. I mean, trying to get into the venue every day, getting out, the traffic, whatever. But I mean, it's a hell of a time. I mean, it's all,
There's some good aftershakers though, isn't there?
I was gonna say, you guys were kind enough to invite me and Ryan along with you to some of those after parties. I remember that one that we went to. I don't remember what night it was, but the guy had like 100-foot pool in his backyard
with the Sea-Doos. Did he have the Sea-Doos and shit in there? Is that one crazy house? Yeah.
Is that the one I had to break you guys into, Obes?
No, I think that was
Cons. You broke us into every other party.
I think that was the year before Cons, but
the same house where the guy's got like he has got the man-made lake at his house, right?
Same pad.
By the way, talk about a waste of money. The value of that is way down.
I have a story of one of my favorite shows I've ever seen at Coachella, and it's actually on the YouTube. Did like 20 years in the desert or something. If you haven't watched it, it's epic. But it's like the whole history of Coachella and when it started and all this good stuff. But there's a show from Arcade Fire on that one. It was back, I think it was when I had my knee injury. And I got caught like with my girl on my shoulders at the time during Tiesto. And I was like, I had glow sticks everywhere. And they're like, Uppy's really had ACL surgery and he's got his chick on his shoulders right now dancing. But
it's one thing to have your